Hi friends, Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library, and I'm here with some new friends today to talk to you about some really great books that I think you might love. Now you might be wondering, why am I covered in a bunch of dragons? Well, the short version of the story is, I had gotten a bunch of dragon eggs from this trader from Zanzibar a few weeks ago, but I didn't expect them to all hatch so soon or to all hatch at the same time. So now I've got all these baby dragons flying around my home. I'm feeding them chicken nuggets like crazy. It's been a crazy time. But one of the first things they said to me when they were able to start talking was, "Why have you not done any videos featuring books about dragons?" And you know what? They are so right. I've been doing these videos for probably about 6 months now, and I still haven't done a video featuring books about dragons, which is kind of crazy considering that I'm the Dragon Librarian. So, got together with my new friends, we picked some great books that we think you guys might really enjoy, and we're going to talk about them today. And I hope that you might like them, if you haven't read them already. So the very first one is one that is very near and dear to my heart, and it's called Dealing with Dragons by Patricia C. Wrede. Now this is the first book in a quartet. There's 4 total, but this is the very first one, and it's absolutely amazing. I read this when I was younger and absolutely fell in love with the story and the characters. It's about this princess named Cimarine who isn't proper and doesn't want to be. She doesn't want to be just a regular princess, and she is definitely not wanting to marry this idiot prince that her parents have picked out for her. So she decides to run away and live with dragons. And not just any dragon, the most dangerous and powerful dragon of all, Kazul. So you can imagine lots of mishaps happen with this scenario. All kinds of things go on. But this book I absolutely love. There are so many things in this book. There are witches. There are obviously dragons. There's sassy cats. There's a talking frog. There are these slimy, oily wizards that can't be trusted. In the Cimarine, the main character is just so amazing. I think this is one of the first books I read as a young person with just this really strong character who didn't want to fit in the mold that everyone else wanted to put her in. And she was just brave enough to go after her own destiny. And I love that about this book. And I think you will too. It's an older series, but it's definitely one of my favorites. And that's Dealing with Dragons. That's just a really cool cover too. So the next one is another favorite of mine, Serafina by Rachel Hartman. Now this is actually part of a duology. The first book is called Seraphina. The second one is called Shadow Scale. Now there's also a third book which is not part of the series, but it's actually like a an offshoot of this series. That's like a sub-series. It's called Tess of the Road. Look how cool that cover is. It's pretty awesome, right? So I love, 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 love this series. Look at that cover. That's pretty awesome too. So Seraphina is about a girl named Seraphina who is half dragon. Her mother took the form of a human, but she was actually a dragon. And not a lot of people know about this because her father hates dragons. Actually, a lot of people in this world hate dragons. Even though dragons and humans live and work alongside each other, there's this hostility brimming under the surface that nobody talks about, but everybody's aware of. So Seraphina keeps her identity secret because she's afraid of starting trouble and she's afraid of getting hurt. Well, when one of the royal family members is murdered, it becomes Seraphina's responsibility to find who is responsible before a civil war breaks out between the humans and the dragons. But can she do this without revealing her identity? And what's going to happen if she does reveal her identity? Is the world going to end? This book is so, so, so fantastic because the writing is really, really good. And I also really like the theme of being honest with yourself, who you really are, and loving yourself for all your strengths and also for your weaknesses too, right? And this is a theme that is just completely flowing through all 3 of these books, really, and they're absolutely wonderful. So if you're just looking for something like really fun and interesting to read, has some great themes behind it, definitely pick this one up, Seraphina. It is marvelous. So last but not least, I'm sure many of you have heard of this series, but I want to talk about Eragon. Now, I know this was super popular when it first came out a few years ago. I don't know how many of you have or have not read it, but this is just, if you're looking for a really fun series to lose yourself in, this is it. Don't be daunted by the size. I know this is the first book and it's the smallest of them. There's 4 total, plus a book that just came out last year of short stories set in this world. But don't be off-put by the size of these books because they're really fast reads. And this is basically your typical fantasy adventure story. It's about this boy named Aragon who finds this dragon egg which hatches, becomes this dragon that he is then bonded with and becomes best friends with, named Seraphina, and they have to basically go on this adventure to save the world. There's a lot more to it than that, but that is the general outline of it. And I know it sounds a lot like a lot of other fantasy stories out there, but it really is unique in that this is just such a feel-good story. If you're just looking for something comforting and you want to read to lose yourself in a beautiful world with dragons and dragon riding and adventure and action and magic and elves, this is a really great series, Eragon. It's never too late. If you haven't read it, it's never too late to pick this series up and fall in love with it all over again. And if you have already read it, read it again. It's a great time of year to just sink into a really comforting, cozy book. And this is a great choice for that. That's Eragon. Well, friends, that's what I have for you today. I hope these books sounded really cool and interesting. If so, they are all available through the Farmington Community Library. So please feel free to call or go on the computer and put them on hold. And then you can pick them up through our curbside service hours. So everyone, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week. And wish me luck with all these dragons. Bye, friends.